Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, or welcome to the channel if you're new. And in this video, I wanted to do a full, update on the markets as well. Bitcoin is pushing down quite hard right now, and a lot of altcoins are following that. Only XRP, BitTensor, and Sui are still outperforming Bitcoin, so the Bitcoin dominance is also relatively strong. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what that means. And just in general, what to expect from these developments, but also wanted to talk about next week for a moment. We have quite a lot of economic data. I talked about it this morning as well, but I think you need to be ready for that, or at least I think you need to know about that. And then outside of that, also wanted to single out some altcoins that I think are interesting, or at least that can potentially be interesting. So let's get right into it. First of all, let's talk about next week. So like I said, next week is going to be pretty major in terms of economic data. Basically from Tuesday to Friday. Obviously, all the other headlines matter a lot too. Last 2 weeks we've had a lot of headlines, whether it's about geopolitical tensions, whether it's about trade deals or the entire trade war, tariffs, whatever. It can make the markets move, right? And then the main things, or at least if you can keep an eye on one thing, I'd say keep an eye on the S&P 500, right? U.S. equities have a very large influence on the crypto markets. So if you take a look at U.S. equities, if you take a look at the volatility index or the VIX, you should get an idea of how risk on or risk off the markets are, and we want to see a risk on markets, which would be a strong S&P 500 and a weak volatility index. So that's in general, but then next week, like I said, a lot of data. We start off Tuesday with the trade balance for the US. Usually that doesn't matter, but in this case right now with all the import tariffs, it might. We basically, for this, we want to see as low as possible number for potentially trade deals to be made more easily, which would be bullish, of course, for the general financial markets and therefore also for crypto. Then Wednesday we have core PCE and normal PCE price index. That's basically inflation rate data. We want to see lower than expected readings. And we have GDP numbers. That's a little bit more difficult. All right, so I'll talk about that on Wednesday. I might also live stream during those data points. But that could basically go both ways, depending on the context. But more on that later. Thursday we have initial jobless claims and ISM manufacturing PMI. Not that relevant. Don't think that makes the market move too much, so I won't spend too much time on that right now. And then Friday we have a very volatile day with non-farm payrolls and unemployment rates. We want the unemployment rate to be higher than expected. We want non-farm payrolls to be lower than expected, for an indirectly positive effect on the US monetary policy. All right, so that's as far as next week goes, or at least the economic data we can predict. Like I said, headlines matter as well. But now onto the markets. So Bitcoin has pulled back into the main support level right here between 93,600 and 94,000. We spoke about this morning as well. This is the main level that needs to hold. All right, and so far, so good. Now it's going to be volatile today for sure, or at least the next 24 hours. So be aware of that. But as long as we're holding this, you have to remain relatively bullish, and that's also why, looking at the market right now, I would still say it's most likely we will be able to hold this, and that we will be able to get a move at least into 95,000 again, and then from there potentially into 96 and 96,500. But that depends a lot on how we react to 95,000 as well. But like I said, so far so good. The only time I would start to not panic, but I would start to turn bearish, is if we are unable for Bitcoin to hold this level at 93,600. All right, if we're able to hold that, as long as we're finding support there, which even though it looks like we're not finding much support there right now, we're still doing that. So as long as that is still happening, you have to remain bearish, or you have to remain bullish, excuse me. And when we actually drop down below that, or we get a very weak touch from there, that's the moment I'd start to turn slightly more bearish. But that's also not the cue yet to start shorting. For that, it's not enough, especially not given the timing right now, with a new week opening very, very soon, or at least relatively soon. So that's still my thoughts on Bitcoin. Very, very similar to what I said this morning, when the price was also at the same levels. That means, talking about XRP, which I know a lot of you are interested in, XRP is actually outperforming the markets slightly here, so that's nice to see. But I expect XRP to remain relatively stable as well. Maybe with the volatility of the next 24 hours, we'll get a spike down. But that seems unlikely. And I still think a rally into 2.35 and 2.4, same thing as with Bitcoin. As long as we're holding support, I think that's most likely. All right. And if we're unable to hold support, then we'll reevaluate. But that's not the case right now. Now, talking about some altcoins. There's a couple of altcoins I think are interesting. First of all, Beam. So I'll quickly write them down on the screen as well. I think that's easier for all of you. But this is Beam. I think this looks quite interesting. On the 4-hour time frame, we're forming a nice uptrend here. Also last week with quite a lot of volume. This afternoon, we also had some new volume come in. Main level for me to watch is this level right here at 0.75 cents. Break above that and the markets are stable. And that looks like, well, at least Beam looks like it can rally much higher. We have a couple of coins right here with quite a lot of volume. I still think SUI is very interesting if we pull back into that 2.9, 3.15 cents area. And then outside of that, as you can see, there's quite a lot of coins with quite a lot of volume. There were a couple of coins I personally wanted to focus on though. You see Walrus, so this is SUI ecosystem breaking out. This is a bit of a strange coin, so maybe a retest of 60 cents. Looks like a good long opportunity, but has a lot of momentum right now. I still think SPX, so that's, I did not write Walrus on the chart, but that's WAL. SPX has broken out on Friday, and that's still holding the breakout right here, so that's also still looking like a decent opportunity. Again, as long as the markets remain stable. And that's about it. I think those are the most acute opportunities. I'll definitely keep you updated on more opportunities on my X page and in my next video, so keep an eye on that. You can follow me on X at cilinixfxcapital, logically wise. So hopefully I'll see you there, but for now that's it. All right, so if anything major happens, maybe I'll make an update this evening. I doubt that will happen though. So for now, that's all you need to know. So take care. I'll see you all in my next videos. Make sure to join the Telegram and the Discord groups as well if you want to join an amazing community. But for now, have a great Sunday. Take care and bye.